Brexit trade talks between the EU and UK could be on a knife edge amid concerns exports could be brought to a screeching halt if furious French and Spanish fishermen don't get what they want out of Brexit. French President Emmanuel Macron threatened to scupper any Brexit deal that sacrifices French fishermen, as he continues to stand in the way of Brexit talks reaching a breakthrough. He is said to be concerned that 20% of French fishermen risk losing their jobs if quotas are drastically reduced if the EU does not have the same access to UK waters after the transition period. French fishermen have also threatened to blockade lorries carrying Britain's catch, as most of the fish and seafood caught by British fishermen is exported, with 3/4 of it going to the EU. Clement Beaune, Mr. Macron's Europe minister, tweeted, "One single objective. To defend and protect the interests of fishermen. We're fighting for French fishing." Scottish sea farm boss Jamie Macmillan has warned it could go either way for his company, which exports live shellfish to Europe, as staff anxiously await to see the terms of any trade deal agreed by David Frost and Michel Barnier. He said if traffic en route to Europe via the Channel Tunnel is brought to a halt by a blockade, it would mean his shellfish would arrive in the continent dead and be of no use to any of his customers. Mr. Macmillan, the managing director of Lochfine Sea Farms on the west coast of Scotland, said an attempt at a blockade by European fishermen could be the final nail in the coffin for his business. He told Express Co UK, "It's on a knife edge. It could go either way. There's possibly going to be customs delays. If the French and Spanish fishermen don't get what they want out of this deal, then I believe there won't be any access to Europe. The French and Spanish fishermen will blockade access into Europe if they don't get what they want. Nobody wants to buy dead shellfish, do they? It's high-end premium products that we export. Live langoustines, lobsters, brown crabs. We need the fastest possible route into Europe and the only way is through the tunnel. If there are any problems like there was a couple of years ago when there were immigrants trying to get through the tunnel and there were huge delays, it could mean we miss the transport in France and our goods arrive 24 hours later." Mr. Macmillan said even a short upset in the flow of goods from Britain into mainland Europe could have devastating consequences for firms. He explained that despite him building up a good rapport with his long-term customers on the continent, they would not think twice about switching to another company if he fails to deliver. He said, "Our buyers will just buy elsewhere from other European countries. They could source their shellfish elsewhere if there is going to be any problems with sourcing product from the UK. You're not going to be loyal to somebody if they don't deliver your goods in time, are you?" Mr. Macmillan said if Lochfine Sea Farms and other exports in the area are hit hard by a possible blockade by angry EU fishermen, it will hit fishing villages hard. The company, which employs 22 people, is based in the picturesque village of Tarbet in the heart of the Mull of Kintyre. He said if his and neighboring firms go under due to chaos at the border, it would mean the village would be stripped of its rich fishing heritage overnight and reduced to a tourism outpost. The farm boss explained, "We live in a small rural community in which fishing jobs are vital for the local economy. It's a small fishing village. Only 1,500 people live here, and we are wholly dependent on fishing here. If there is no fishing here, it would just become a holiday village with no locals, no young men and women coming through into the job." Lord Frost and Mr. Barnier's teams continued post Brexit trade talks in London today in a bid to reach a free trade deal with just weeks to go until the deadline. Ireland's Deputy Prime Minister, or Tánaiste, Leo Varadkar, said he believes there will be some sort of a deal between Brussels and the UK. Speaking to RTE Radio on Sunday, he said, "It's by no means guaranteed, but I think on the balance of probabilities it will be possible to agree a free trade agreement with the UK, which means there will be no quotas and no tariffs.